77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Council members Vanera?
Here.
Kaplan?
Here.
Weinstein?
Here.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on January 3rd, 2025. We are going to start off with the township engineer.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Okay, 2023 road program has been submitted to the state for the final change order approval. We'll get our final payment from them in about a month. The 24 program, we're waiting for them to authorize us to go out to bid. 25 program, we've actually started surveying the roads. The Kempwell project, we're still waiting for the JCP&L meter to be set there. I reached out on Monday to Jose Ortiz to see if he can give us some help. So I haven't heard back from him yet, so I'll give him another call tomorrow. Next one, Fireman's Pond dredging, it's scheduled for this October. I reached out to the new DPW director to try to set up a meeting for next week or the week after, so we can get all logistics worked out in the field with where his setup's gonna be. Lollipop Pond, we had a pre-app meeting with the state because there's a treed island in the middle of Lollipop Pond that we were gonna dredge. State said we cannot dredge that, it's forested wetlands. So now we're just revising the plan so we're gonna dredge on both sides, we'll have a little island in the middle of the pond. Not that it makes a difference because you can't see it from anywhere, but just so you know. Terrace Pond, we're just waiting to finish up some of the other ones. We're just have to do some additional soil sampling, which we'll get to in probably about a month. 1515 Logan, we're waiting for a DEP approval. The deadline on that for our 30-day extension is the 16th, which I believe is Saturday. The Bimbler traffic study, the county came back to me and wants us to do a traffic study for the impact of us closing that lane and what the impact will be on the light down the stream there. So that's something we're gonna have to do, they asked us to do before we close that off. So that's why
Who asked for it, the county? Or the
County
County?
asked us to do that.
How much is that going to delay our plans?
It's really not, the traffic report won't take that big, it'll probably take us a month, maybe 6 weeks to do that. We'll try to get it in before the summer ends, next 2 weeks, for the traffic counts, but it's really how long the county takes to review it after that. So I don't think they're in any big hurry, because it's gonna probably result in them having to change a traffic light down the way. And I think that's what they're dragging their feet on.
And just so everybody knows, I did speak to Mayor Moore about it, and he knew about this months ago and was fine with it. So it really was not Asbury Park stopping it.
Yeah.
That did cross my mind,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Listen to me, no, it came, listen to me.
Because it has an effect on
Believe me, we were at a table and allegedly Moore and I had a problem with each other. And we were literally sitting next to each other, like, you got a problem with me? You got a problem? No, it had nothing to do with us. It was the county, I think exactly what Greg's saying, it's about the light up the way, so I get it.
That makes sense.
Okay, the next one is the lighting for the roads up in Larchwood, Saxony, and Old Farm. I reached out, I got the lighting patterns from GE today, looked at them, I've got the lights, we've narrowed it down to 2 lights. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call back First Energy, JCP&L now and get the cost difference between the two and see which one we wanna pick to use. Obviously go with the cheaper one. They're both LEDs, they have roughly the same pattern, I just wanna make sure they're both about the same cost.
Greg, are you recommending that every time there's a light out, that they go LED?
We have not, no. But
Okay.
we're gonna start.
Okay.
I know they've not really changed a lot of lights, and they usually don't ask, but I'm gonna tell Jose Ortiz that that's what we want, to match these in the future. Just makes sense instead of us,
So they're the brighter ones, they're not that yellowy looking,
no, they're the white,
or that
cleaner light,
other color that,
like sodium
like
vapor.
like a
Orange,
pink, like pinkish, orangey looking.
Yeah.
80s. look.
Right, totally.
And these are, well, what we're gonna do, as we discussed before, I wanna start on Larchwood, because they're gonna be a lot brighter than what's there. So that's probably a nice road to start on, it's a little wider, a lot less, a lot more traffic, a lot less homes. So I think if we start on that, then we kinda
Work
nudge
our
our
way
way into
through.
the neighborhoods after that. Plus it comes down to cost, I don't think we're gonna have it in our budget this year to do these, so these will probably have to be done next summer. But just to let everyone know they're coming, we'll pick it and we'll get it all queued into JCP. I don't know how long it's gonna be on their queue cycle once we order them for them to install them either. Because they're, as we're seeing, even the set of meters taking, over 9 months so far. But I'll work all that out before the next meeting and let you know. The new DPW facility on Cindy Lane is, believe ARH has submitted the wetlands delineation for approval. So we should be hearing back from, to go back and forth probably a couple times, probably about 6 months. We should get our approval for that, and then we're gonna have a couple of general permits we gotta do, but generally, we're looking to get that LOI approved so we can determine, we can then do the soil borings to determine whether it's a landfill or illegal dump. That's what we're waiting for, because the DEP won't let us do soil borings until we know where the wetland delineation is, whether those borings are in or outside the wetlands.
So does their report tell us what percentage is wetlands? Where did we come in?
About where we thought it was. We guesstimated the line, it's very close to that, so we're in good shape that way. And there's a couple of GPs we're gonna get to get a couple pieces of isolated wetlands eliminated, we'll just fill them in, so that'll help us a little more. That one, just a matter of them getting that LOI approved so we can get to the next step. Kramer Court Bridge, we're waiting for the meter to be set. I called Jose Ortiz on that one too on Monday, asked him, I'll follow up with him again tomorrow. The emergency work that we did on Beverly and is completed. The curb on Sunset and the Pepsi driveway, we have a sinkhole in our driveway. That was one of the other previous emergency work we had approved earlier. Those are both getting taken care of next Monday. The pipe's coming in Monday, and they're going to be installed on Tuesday. There's also other emergency work that we've got. We're going to actually put it into the road program. I've got the sinkhole on Sunset Avenue, which I'm sure everybody has seen, the barrels on Sunset on the west side of 35. That'll get fixed probably in about 2 weeks. We got to order the pipe for that. And then also there's a sinkhole in front of for the residential home on 17 Arbor Way, which will get repaired probably in 2 weeks. Those are both coming out of the 25 road program. And then I've got the light at Deal and Poplar.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to to Maurice, and all the conduit is in, everything's in, and they're just waiting for the hardware, which is due September 8th.
Oh, I thought we got the hardware.
So did I.
Okay, I just want to make sure I heard you right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they told me the hardware was in before, and I guess they
Right.
thought it was in, and it's still, that's supposed to be here on September 8th now. So,
Okay.
After school starts.
worried about the first week, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
unfortunate.
yeah.
There was a
I think it's more
construction,
of a
they do
summer.
a
You think it's more of a
pad
school thing than a
there
summer
was
thing?
electrical work was done.
It's definitely,
Yeah.
there's definitely a
I've
school
probably
thing.
boxed into
Maybe
the.
it's
Yeah,
different
they
when
put
you
it-
think there's
the electrical
more of an
work was
issue
done.
with school
Yeah.
traffic at that light than there is summer traffic?
I think there will be at that time of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that time of the day in the morning is gonna be rough, right, without that light.
I don't think it's going to be any different than it was last year, though.
No, it won't be,
Right.
only doing was last
Seen
year.
it.
But it'll be better when we fix
It'll
the
be
light.
better
Right,
on
but you
September
guys-
8th,
You
right.
guys think it's more, it's a bigger problem for the residents, or that light is a bigger problem in the off-season as opposed to the summer?
No, I think the summer's.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I
That's what
thought
I
that
thought.
little, I
I'm just
thought that,
curious.
There's,
that quick hour in the morning is always a
Yeah.
problem.
Maybe 15 minutes.
That 50,
Yeah.
maybe 15 minutes in the morning, right?
Summer, or what? What do you think?
I think the winter
Oh, yeah?
with the school.
Okay.
It backs up onto Deal Road.
Yeah,
So the light
that's the
on
problem,
there.
yeah.
No, I got it, I just, okay. Thank you.
Okay, and the last item I have is, last meeting, remember we talked about somebody mistakenly was given a permit to open up Deal Road, which was under moratorium, just just east of Whale Pond, on the south side of Deal Road, east of Whale Pond. There was a water connection put in there. That was mistaken, permit was given by DPW to open that up. Well, luckily, they need another water permit next house within 100 feet of that. That gentleman's gonna post a bond to pay for our rules with your approval, 100 feet each side of that. He's willing to pay curb to curb, 100 feet each side,
Wow.
which will wipe that cut out also.
Merry Christmas.
That was very
Happy
upsetting to
Hanukkah
me.
or whatever, wow.
Brand new road, I'm like, really? And I saw it marked out, and I'm like, there's
Ha-
no way he's digging, and he did.
So, pardon me, our DPW?
Yeah, they're in charge of giving road opening permits. But
And-
we've resolved the problem, hopefully. They've got an updated list. They know that most of them passed me now for road opening permits. So they
All
should-
of them should.
Yeah, well, we're working that out.
Okay.
Yeah. But that is, if you guys if you approve that, I think that would be obviously a good thing for us to do. Let him do that, and he'll put the bond up, and we'll let him pave that 200-foot stretch when he's done. Probably the paving will probably, the connection will probably be in the next week or so, and the paving won't happen until probably September, because we just don't want, next 2 weeks, we don't be closing Deal Road even at night.
Right.
It's just too much, so that'll be closing, probably be nighttime paving when that is done. Okay.
Sounds fair.
So we got rid of one bad one. Okay, that was all I had.
Can I think I asked you, and if I didn't, I'll ask now. Can you share that with us either before or after the meeting? So we don't have to take note. I mean, I can always watch the video.
You want me to email it to you, or do you want?
Email's beautiful.
Yeah, I'll email it to you a copy. That's fine.
Thank you.
Geets, anything?
I'm good, thank you.
Dave?
No, I'm good.
Jeff?
Not anything for Greg.
Okay. So we have to go, you need a half hour, Joe?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go around the table, see if we have any time. We have to go in closed session by 6 PM to go over area need of redevelopment. So let me start off with Rob.
Got my questions answered before.
Oh, you're done, okay. Keith?
I'm good.
I just wanted to make a comment that after 50 years of having the Italian-American Festival, finally the parking situation seemed actually better. So
garbages.
whoever was in charge, you can please tell them they did a good job.
Like one of the young police officers said, it only took them 49 years to figure it out.
So for the record, and
Yeah.
I think John will defend this, and if he doesn't, I'll disagree with it. I can't say how far back we've made this suggestion, but we have made this for a while.
I'll
Having
concur.
said that,
I'll concur.
okay, but I will say,
Yeah.
I get why it was risky to try. The good news was, there was a young police officer, well, she's not that young, that stepped up, said, I think we can make this work, convinced the chief, and we did it.
There
So-
were, they worked as a team, because I thought it was Martinez, but it was actually the team of them, Todd Gregory
Yep.
and Martinez. And so, I mean, really, they came up with a great plan. And when I took it in the first day and getting all of that festival traffic into the park and off the road, probably put 100 cars in queue.
Yep.
All the way wrapped around, so clearly made a big difference. The only thing that I think that they're gonna have to improve on next year is probably doing some shuttling from some of the schools, just to alleviate.
a good
'cause
idea.
We closed
We
down the lots
plan on doing that.
this year.
And one
Now-
thing I would suggest also is, they put up some signs for when people are leaving, because several people were going easterly or westerly, and they were turning left following the fire truck, thinking that was how to get out. And then they
Yeah.
went all the way down, and then some of them actually turned right, went all the way down towards the library.
Oh,
They
wow.
had to back all the way back out.
So we definitely
People
improved the
that get-
signage on Whale Pond
Yeah.
after the first night, maybe halfway through the first night where we put because people were didn't know coming south on Whale Pond that the entrance was the first one, not the second. When they got to the second, they got screwed.
Yeah.
Then they had to either go all the way through Shadowlawn
Yeah.
and come all the way around again, or go all the way around the highway. So that got resolved. We put the big one up there, and we were golden. There were issues with handicap parking. So I talked to the Sergeant Martinez. I said, listen, we gotta fix this. There's a problem. It's filling or it's not full. People ride by it, see it's empty. They come all the way around and they're told they can't go park in it because and we know it's empty. She's like, Rob, you realize, you'll appreciate that. You realize why it's full so fast, don't you? I said, no, it's just all your members park in there because they're all handicapped. They're 80 years old.
Oh, boy.
So we actually, while we're on the topic real quick, we're actually talking about putting strips at the entrance and the exit to count cars coming in and out. That'll solve some of the problem. The other thing we're gonna do is actually mark, we think, with permission, we'll mark the sections of the area, A, B, C, D, or 1, 2, 3, whatever it is, and then we're actually gonna put a drone up there so that we can actually communicate with the explorers to say there's spots in A, there's spots in B, and what the count is. So it worked.
That would be good.
We still think we can improve it.
Yeah,
Because we closed, I mean, it was fireworks, but we closed it down at 7:30 on Friday night.
yeah,
4,000 cars.
yeah.
Wow.
It was crowded.
Yeah.
Well, kudos.
Thank you, appreciate it.
It happens to be.
And I'll pass it along.
One of my neighbors asked for contact information for people who she could thank, because she said the road closed was so
Yep.
helpful and everything was so clean.
And what's her name asked for garbage cans, we put
Yeah,
those out there.
yeah.
I think that worked because frankly.
It did.
Good,
I mean, Steve went right out and
Yeah.
lined them up, which
Yeah,
was great.
that was a good idea too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, thanks, Dave.
Okay.
That's all I had.
One topic I have is on the, Steve Levy used to be the environmental commissioner for for the town. He was the chairman for a number of years. He passed away last year. Hasn't been a resident, I guess, for a little
Years
while.
ago.
Years ago. Years ago.
No,
But
he passed away years ago.
No, he passed away last year.
No.
No.
That's what the
3 or 4
that's what the
years.
sister-in-law,
While
that's
ago.
what the daughter-in-law told me.
I'm gonna go 3, could be 4.
Okay.
gonna
Well, this
go-
is from her.
Wait.
So anyway, she was looking for a way, for the family was looking for a way to kind of recognize him. So I didn't know if we wanted to have some kind of way of proclamation or some kind of way to recognize him. She gave me his whole bio of what he did for the town and all that kind of stuff. So I passed it over to Dave, and Dave suggested I bring it up to everybody here to kind of talk about it.
Recognize and do.
Yeah, he was
proclamation.
really,
Okay,
he
great.
was great.
Great guy.
So I'll
Yeah.
forward all of you this write-up so you can kind of see that, and we can figure out when to do that. And I'll
Get
let the
the
family
dates
know
right.
that we're thinking about it. What?
Get the dates right.
Yeah,
before-
well, I'll talk to her. She basically sent me this whole thing about it happening last year, so I don't know what. It's okay. But,
No,
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
the other thing is, I just wanted to bring up that show as part of the community forest management plan we're putting together. We're having a meeting that involves a lot of people throughout the town and a lot of people here. So so Patty is putting together a list and kind of trying to coordinate this. So I might be recruiting some people here in the town to kind of be part of that. We're having a kickoff meeting. I believe it's September 4th. We had a kickoff meeting about the actual project a couple of weeks ago. And on September 4th, we're having okay, let's figure out all the dates and work backwards so we can kind of get to, at the end of December, having a real forest management plan for the town. And one of the resolutions on the agenda is for the $5,000 that we're going to use towards this consultant.
Oh, I was gonna ask what that was for.
Yeah.
And pardon my ignorance, I'll bite. A forest plan is what? Is that the tree planting plan? Is
It's
that
part,
the new term?
that's part of
Okay.
it. That's
All
part,
right.
because
Very good.
it also includes tree maintenance.
Okay.
One of the challenges, it only really includes things that are part of our purview. So like the Board of Ed, their land. So it would not include Board of Ed properties and private properties, and it kind of includes the properties that we have control over.
And
how we-
the easements of those properties.
Right, and what the plan and what maintenance is and all those kind of things, so.
Thank you.
Yep,
I
no
like that
problem.
word better.
No problem. That was it for me, John.
Thank you. I have nothing. We go around the room. Jim.
Greg, on the Keppel property, you're gonna have a lot of heavy machinery in there. Gitta and Jeff, you might not be familiar with, this is a topo map that they've seen before. And on the north side of the building, by the air conditioners, is the 102-foot topographic line. On the east side, 80% to the east is the 100-foot topo. So there's a two-foot grade on a large area of the north area between 102 foot and 100 foot. Since he has all the heavy machinery coming in here right now, if they were to have the landscape architect look at the feasibility of using that machinery to build between 100 foot and 102 foot, then you get a meaningful quality drainage, acceptably large area to be worth the effort. And then on the east side, it drops from 100 foot to a 94-foot topo, and that would be a 6-foot drop in a place where the landscape architect would choose to have that 6 foot be a 6 foot over a 10-foot area, 6 foot over a 15-foot area, 6 foot over a 20-foot area, but it'd be 6-foot drop. So if you have the machinery there, and the landscape architect or yourself, hold the thought of utilizing land that's there, but would require a little bit of machinery to use it. That's all I have.
Thanks, Jim. Anybody raise hand?
Thank you. I'd like a little more information about the light that is being put on Deal and Poplar.
It's,
Go ahead, Greg.
There's already a light there, we're just putting a
Yes.
left turn signal in.
On which way?
If you're going northbound or coming off of Roller Road and southbound off of Poplar will both have left turns.
Of both houses left church.
Mhm.
Okay. My other question is, how many accidents have been there in the past 2 years?
You'd have to ask the police.
Good question for the police.
And how would I go about doing that? Just open
Send
or-
Dave Brown an email, and he'll get it over to the chief.
And I do have another question. because as a resident, I lived right in that area, so I'm really happy to see that we're doing this. Because I know it's been many years, and I know of one fatality that, a lot of residents have been very upset about, so thank you for doing that.
I hate to say, I don't know if the arrow would have helped that, the one that fatality, but it should reduce issues.
Alex.
Alex Hayes, Oakhurst. I think I have 4 questions for right now. The Green Communities $5,000 grant. Did I just hear correctly? We're using the $5,000 grant from the state, not to plant new trees or anything like that for this forestry program. We're gonna use it for a consultant?
We need a consultant to help us put the forestry plan together, so that's correct.
Okay. Following up on that, one of my questions is the Community Forest Management Committee, as I were calling it a committee. How do people join? How do you select people? Jackie Wenzel would be a great person to nominate since she was very involved in the tree canopy and the forestry management in town. I would hate for her to be overlooked in something as important as this that involves forestry and trees and management of environmental concerns. So how do people get selected for this?
It's really up to the people who are running the committee.
Which are who?
Norm Colton is the
Committee or commission?
commission. Yeah, sorry, commission.
That's all right. Just
And this is not a committee. This is actually just a group to help us to get different constituents' point of views. Right? It's really to help the survey. It's really helping for the application and for the plan. So it's I'm not sure how much time it takes for each individual. So it would be Patty Cronin would also be the other person. If you want to send me an email, I'd be happy to pass it on to those people, if you're interested.
Thank you. Those were 2 questions. Third question is, fabulous to see that minutes are being presented today, finally, after months of waiting to be approved for today. So that in itself is great. However, nothing's posted online. So,
They're posted after they're approved.
She was
Okay.
advised by the attorney not to post them until after the vote on it.
but I just went tonight to check on 2025's minutes. There are 2, and on 2025's minutes for work session, there are 0. So
No,
there's physically no PDFs.
Jess, you'll check that tomorrow?
There's,
we'll check it right now.
yeah. The minutes that are on tonight cannot be posted until tomorrow
That I
morning.
get. It just
There's more.
seems like the ones that have been approved in previous
They should have been
things, I
posted.
didn't see.
They should have been posted. No,
Okay, so
there you
we'll
go.
get 'em.
Yep.
And what's the 4th one?
The 4th one is, quite surprised in seeing in the agenda today, the Honora building, those 2 buildings right in between the church, I think it's a Methodist church on West Park, and the middle school being up for discussion for redevelopment. Being the inquisitive person I am, I called over there today. And that business has no idea of what's going on, any proposed redevelopment. Maybe they're not the owners of the 2 buildings, that could be. But I'm kind of shocked that there's a business in town that's currently being looked at as a redevelopment site, but the people who work there have no idea what's going on. So I'm wondering, were they ever consulted with any of this pre-planning? Was
That
the
would
church
be
next door?
messaging that the owner of the property would have to do with Honora. It was actually the owner of the property that approached the municipality, approached the township manager about area need of redevelopment to do a different project there.
So-
One of the buildings is completely empty.
So in no process up until now, was there a need to email Rolling Meadows people, the church?
There's nothing that's gone on there right now. They're just requesting an area need of redevelopment for a study that has to go over to the planning board, similar to what we did with Orchard Plaza. So there's nothing set yet until it goes to the planning board.
If something is decided by the planning board?
Notifications will be sent out absolutely within 200
To
feet.
residents in the
Yep.
area, and there will obviously be a concern.
And I would assume that the owner of the property will message that out to the, I don't
Tenants.
even know if it's an operator,
Tenants.
an owner of Honora, I really don't know how that operates over there.
Okay, that's all I had.
Sure. Motion to go into closed session?
So moved. Second.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okey dokey. Just want to remind everybody that all council meetings will be audio and video taped. They'll be shown on Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22 on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Aquitani?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Fisher?
Here.
Council members Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Weinstein?
Here.
Can everyone please stand for a pledge of allegiance and remain standing as we say a silent prayer? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. You may be seated. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied, and a copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press, sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on January 3rd, 2025. There are 2 emergency exits to my right that'll take you to the front of the building and one that'll take you to the back of the building. If you have to make a phone call, please make sure you walk outside. Please have your cell phones turned off so that they can remain silent. We are going to open it up for council comments. I'm going to start down at the end with Deputy Mayor Dave Fisher.
Thank you, Mayor. As I said in the workshop meeting, kudos to the Italian Club, Ocean Township Police Department, DPW for finally figuring out how to get us all into the fair in a safe, effective manner. I love the new trash can, so to all the people who worked so hard to make that happen, well done. Second thing, Mayor, my favorite subject is e-bikes. I know we've heard this ad nauseum from me, but the state of Connecticut is actually enacting laws starting in October. They're going to require a driver's license for these bikes that are going over 30 miles per hour. There's been an 800% increase in ER visits due to these bikes. There's about 1.7 million of them have been sold in the United States. It is described as an emerging public threat. So you're going to have insurance. And they estimate about 20,000 people are hurt on these bikes annually. So I would suggest if you have a passion for this issue, as I do, you should call your legislators because I believe something does need to be done. Unfortunately, I really just think that they are a danger to the public. On another side note, we do have a code enforcement department here in Ocean Township. Complaining on the internet is wonderful, but unfortunately it doesn't get action. If you're seeing trash, if something's wrong, please reach out to our code enforcement department. They would be glad to take a look at these issues, but unfortunately, if you complain on the internet, it's a tree falling in the forest. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kaplan.
As usual, Deputy Mayor Fisher stole my thunder.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I just want to echo his thanks to the Italian American Club, the police, DPW for just an amazing festival. As a close by resident, the streets were very clean, very clear, and my kids had an amazing time as they do every year. I'm just wishing everybody a great end of the summer and start to the school year, believe it or not. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Acera.
I will certainly echo everybody's comments about the Italian Festival, given that John and I are part of the association. There was a lot of work that went into it, so everybody from the town that contributed, that was already mentioned, and certainly a shout out to all of the volunteers that participated. The numbers were, as you would imagine, record-breaking. To the best of my knowledge, and I haven't heard anything from anybody, there were no incidents. So the police did a phenomenal job. To Dave's point and Gita's point, the traffic was great. There's certainly still room for improvements. We are going to have a meeting with the town that we had prior to the festival to recap everything, so we can only improve upon it. So, but thank you all for coming. Thank you to the residents, the non-residents. We appreciate your money and your donations. I will say the 50-50 raised $26,000, $26,500 I think it was, for scholarships. So that was a great asset, as well as the other funds that were contributed. And there were certainly a ton of community organizations, baseball, soccer, and others that were able to participate and raise funds as well. So it's always a great event. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Weinstein.
Thank you, Mayor. I had a great time at the Italian Fest too. Congrats to everybody. Felt like I got to join the crowd here and say something nice. So, want to just kind of talk about a couple of things. One is October 4th is the Fall Fest, and The Shade Tree and the Environmental Commission have worked with the town to have Greenfest part of it. So there'll be a section dedicated to Greenfest, which is is exciting. It's going to be a great event. So just mark your calendars. I do want to say I do appreciate all the work that the people on the Shade Tree Commission and the Environmental Commission. We have a number of volunteers. The attendance to our meetings is great. Participation has been great. So. And there's a lot of good work that we're doing on a number of things, the community forest management plan and a bunch of other initiatives we have. So just want to congratulate all of them. Myself and Rob are working on FIFA 2026. And so we're spending some time with Ocean United and the school district and our town. And we've had some meetings to discuss what our involvement is and how that can be a great event for all different parts of our community next year between June 8th and I believe July 19th. So we're trying to figure out those things and kind of involving different groups. And that's all I have for now.
Okay, thank you, Councilman.
Yes.
Two things. I just want to give people an update as to where we stand right now with the lake dredging projects that the Township of Ocean will be working on. We're starting off with Fireman's Pond. Had a good meeting with Commissioner Director Arnone in regard to utilizing equipment and manpower from them. The state has given us a grant for the lake cleanup. The biggest issue is the spoils. We'll be working our way down to Lollipop Pond next year, and then the following year, once they complete their project upstream, Terrace Pond will be dredged as well in the backside. So we are getting up to speed on our infrastructure and projects that need to be done. So the council's working very hard to make sure that we're getting these projects up and running. And the other thing, I know there's been a lot of talk and discussion again on social media in regard to Orchard Plaza and what's going on with that. As people are aware, it's been designated as an area in need of redevelopment. We got word as a council that the ownership has changed hands. And I think that it's in part to the council that's up here that have looked at that site and have looked at it as an unsightly site. Although it has changed hands, we are still voting on, the area in need of redevelopment so that the council has the ability to have say in what goes in on that 11 acres. As Deputy Mayor Dave Fisher said earlier, we have one shot at creating something nice here with an 11-acre, plot of land. So we all have the town's best interest, and we will make sure that this is steered in the right way. I would have to say that we're far away from a project starting, but understand that this was the first step in getting this site cleaned up. So I have to thank the council for seeing the vision and knowing that this is probably the right thing to do moving forward for the municipality. Right now, it is a site that does not have a huge rateable, so anything improved there will be an increased rateable. With that being said, we want to start off with a proclamation for International Overdose Awareness Month, which ends on August 31st. We have an International Overdose Awareness Day, which is August 31st, whereas each year we lose thousands of people from drug overdose globally. Some survive but suffer permanent injury with devastating impact on their family and friends, whereas the Township of Ocean is not immune. You may have seen it as it has happened to people around you. Tomorrow it could happen to someone you love. This is not an invisible issue, and whereas International Overdose Awareness Day provides an opportunity for us to reflect on practical ways to prevent overdose in our community. Overdose is preventable. Knowing the real facts about drugs and what they do, you see someone experience an overdose does save lives. International Overdose Awareness Day events that aim to educate our communities about drugs can really help. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Mayor and Council of the Township of Ocean in the County of Monmouth, State of New Jersey, hereby declares that International Overdose Awareness Day is set for August 31st, 2025, And if you have seen out in front, there are 13 purple flags out there that represent one life lost to an overdose in Monmouth County from January 1st, 2025 to March 31st, 2025. 2 signs that explain the display and 2 white flags that represent all individuals who have lost their lives to an overdose throughout 2024. Signs and purple flags will be placed out between August 5th and September 2nd. Very, very important. I'm pretty sure everybody in this room has probably known somebody or has a relative or a friend that has experienced this. Myself personally, multiple times. Very, very important that we raise awareness for Drug Overdose Awareness Day. Thank you. So we will open it up for questions on the consent agenda. All items listed on the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on this agenda and is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. If you have any questions as it relates to the agenda, the consent agenda, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes. If you come up to the microphone, please ask your questions and we will answer them accordingly once you're finished.
I would say to go first, but just to confirm, if you have anything to ask about resolutions 1 through 20, whatever, you have to come up, correct?
Yes,
Not individually.
correct.
Okay, so my question, sorry. This is in regards to the eminent domain, I think it's number 20, right? For the Orchard Plaza. I'm just curious if you've ever asked the owner outright, or the owners, if they would sell. And you're basically saying you don't know what you're gonna do with the property, by the way, is this on your document? Making sure it's being recorded. Ah, there we go. So my question, to reiterate, was, have you asked the current owners if they are ever willing to sell? Also, you made it clear that you really don't have plans for this site. So I'm flabbergasted that you're going to eminent domain 11 acres without a plan of what to do with it. Is it a park? Is it going to be the new town hall? I don't understand. It sounds like we're putting the horse before the cart here. You literally have no plans to do this, and I feel like that's the backwards way of that other towns do it. Like you say, we want to do X, Y, Z. That's why we're going to eminent domain this area. So I'm kind of curious, going into this, how are you possibly considering this without a plan? Okay, so that was 2 questions, I guess. Another question, back to my earlier comments about the Honora building at 1213 and 1211 West Park Avenue. According to the maps that I saw online, it seemed that there were 2 plots that were like 1.2 acres each. So I'm kind of curious if all the expense and all the looking into a redevelopment for this is really worth it. For what seems like 2.5 acres, it's gone again. What seems like 3
Hold on, Alex.
We got to upgrade our AV.
Why does it keep doing that? Yeah.
Okay, where was I? So it sounds like we're only looking at about 2.5 acres for the 2 plots of land at the Honora facility. So I'm just kind of curious if, in a cost-benefit analysis, if all that we are planning on undertaking is worth it for less than 3 acres, what it looks like on the property. 2 more questions. The sublease of the community solar, that's been announced and it's supposed to be in the works for years. I'm surprised it's finally happening. Is that going to be the community solar that residents can opt into and sign up for energy savings? And my final question, this one's more aimed at the attorney, Mr. Keneally. I don't know how to say your name. I apologize. I'm just wondering, did I get it right, Keneally? I just wondering what the rules are for a person running for council facing school ethics charges. We currently have a council member who is facing OAL court, 2 court cases, and I think it's something like 10 plus ethics charges. So I'm wondering what the legalities are in running if you're currently in front of an OAL case or 2, and then I know you can't sit on a council if you're convicted of something in a criminal court. So if there are any decisions on the 2 OAL ethics charge cases, are there any things that a councilman can or cannot do if they are not convicted? I don't even know what the word is. Found guilty of ethics charges in the state of New Jersey. So I think that was 5 questions.
Thank you. Actually, these are all for the attorney, so I'm going to hand it over to Scott.
Sure. So I think you referred in the beginning of your question to Resolution 20, but I think your question was addressing Resolutions 18 and 19 initially with regard to
Resolution 18. Sorry.
the property referencing eminent domain. The Resolutions 159 and 160, 25 159, 25 160 on the agenda is 18 and 19, refer to the Orchard Park property.
Mm-hmm.
That property has been studied, referred to the planning board, and the resolutions are designating it as an area in need of redevelopment, including the authority of condemnation. That's at the advice of the Township's Redevelopment Council to include that, but this is a resolution to designate it as an area in need of redevelopment. With that then comes the next resolution, which is to prepare a redevelopment plan. By designating it as an area in need of redevelopment, the council is doing 2 things. One, recognizing that the property meets one of the criteria under the redevelopment law, which in this case is that it's been vacant for an extended period of time. But there's all kinds of other criteria. I'm not specifically certain if it was limited to that one criteria, but it is a property in need of redevelopment. It's a large commercial tract. By designating it as a redevelopment area, the governing body can have a fair amount of control that they otherwise might not have if the property just chose to go to the Board of Adjustment or the Planning Board. So that's why that's being done. In terms of condemnation, that's at the recommendation of Redevelopment Council to retain that authority in case the governing body is not happy with the direction that the proposed developer of the property is taking. So I think that's what I would answer as to your questions with regard to that property.
So I read it as you were eminent domaining it tonight. So that is not the case.
No, they're designating it as an area of redevelopment, including the authority of the governing body to pursue condemnation. It's a reservation of authority within that resolution. It's not, there is no condemnation that is going forward today.
Okay, that's a good clarification. Okay, thank you.
What's happening is it's being formally designated as an area in need of redevelopment, and a formal plan is being pursued, and it'll be discussed with the property owner. The property recently changed hands. The new property owner will be in discussions with the Redevelopment Council.
Okay.
So as far as the other property, resolution
That one,
20 on the agenda, 25-161. My understanding from conversations with Redevelopment Council, that is at the request of the property owner. They have asked that we undertake a study to determine if it's an area in need of redevelopment, in which case, again, the governing body, if they found that it met the criteria, I don't know if it will or not, could negotiate with the property owner as to what would occur there. And the cost of that will be borne by the property owner. So it's really not a hard resolution to undertake.
Okay.
So.
Last one was the Park Center.
No, second to last was the community solar question.
I'm not sure. Community solar.
Isn't the resolution to sublease so that there can be solar placed on the park center, right?
Oh, there's a request by the, is this the tennis center? Yeah.
Yeah.
They requested the township, they have a lease that runs for about the next 20 plus years on that property. They have requested the township authorize them to enter into a sublease for solar panels on the roof with a solar provider.
But you have no idea if that facility has had a sign up a year or two that says community solar, like the state community solar program coming to this West Park. So that is not
The resolution is authorizing the tenant, because it is township property, essentially, even though they're on our long-term lease and built the building, to install solar panels on the roof.
Okay, so we have no idea if it has to do with community solar, I guess, right? Okay. Okay, and then my last, I can reach out to the Park Avenue Tennis Center then. And then my last question.
What was your last question? Oh, about the election?
Yeah.
Honestly, there's, I'm not familiar at all with what you're discussing in terms of who it even is, but there's nothing in your question that would prevent somebody from running for office under those circumstances.
And then if the second part of the question was if somebody were to
I
be...
would need to know a lot more about what happened. I'm not going to answer a hypothetical about what would happen on an ethics complaint. So that's...
Okay, I'm happy to send you all the ethics complaints. Or Mr. Weinstein can also give you information on his cases. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to be heard on the consent agenda, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, my name is Debbie Conley. My address in Ocean Township is 1509 Spruce Avenue in Wanamassa. I'm not sure if it's appropriate timing for me to raise the issue now. It was kind of serendipitous to discover this on the agenda tonight. Ordinance 2517. Is my timing appropriate to approach now? It's not.
This is comment on resolutions.
That's
And
what I thought. The
You mean the
resolutions
ordinance?
that-
You mean the ordinance?
The ordinance.
That's an introduction. That's just being introduced tonight. You
Okay.
can speak on it next month.
I see.
Yeah, once
All
we go
right.
for
Now,
adoption.
if I separately have a question with regard to stormwater management, an issue that
the
we're
end.
experiencing at the
Yeah.
end. Got
Yep.
it. Thank
Okay.
you very much.
Sure.
Hello,
Hi.
Grace Ann Tellerico, Fieldstone Lane and Wayside. I have a few concerns and questions regarding resolution number 10. As a past member who served on the zoning board under the previous mayor from November 2022 to June 30th, 2023, I'm very interested in the reasoning behind combining these two boards. If my recollection serves me, there are always extra special meetings, sometimes several per month, called due to the number of cases needing to be heard. So my first question is, will there be additional members added? Will there be more meetings each month to accommodate the residents' needs? My second question, comment, even more importantly, what are the qualifications for the members to serve now? With our previous mayor, it used to be any resident that lived in Ocean for 1 year or more and had the desire to serve on one of these boards. At the end of my term, which happened to coincide with the new mayor and council taking over, I was told by a neighbor that I was not reappointed to the zoning board and that the decision was made at the July 2023 council meeting. That's how I found out. I then sent an email to our current mayor inquiring why I was not reappointed. He stated he was going in a different direction and only wanted engineers, realtors, real estate attorneys, planners, and residents working in construction on these boards, and I no longer qualified. I shared with him at that time that I realized my expertise was not in those areas, but my value came in as a member that represents the residents' voice, and my background as a mediator helps ensuring both sides are heard. He then cited he did not want school board members to also serve on other town boards. Although there were 2 other school board members left to continue to serve. One who is newly appointed council member, Mr. Weinstein, as chair of the planning board, even though he also does not work in those areas. It was also stated that he felt having members with these areas of expertise mentioned was the right thing to do to move this town forward and in the best interest of the municipality. So my question is that still the case, or has that changed back to include all residents, not just ones that allegedly benefit by being on these boards? And a disclaimer, my opinions are my own, do not represent any boards that I serve on.
So resolution 10, that was a recommendation made by the planning department to join the boards. Zoning board has a lot of work, planning board does not. As for the qualifications and such, same answer as before. And
Of what I just read.
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard on the consent agenda items only?
This is for paving a street.
None of the agenda. That's it. At the end, we'll give you.
Okay.
Sure. Yep. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Seeing here none, do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Yeah, yes, I'd like to offer resolutions 25-142 to 25-164.
Second?
I'll second.
And
Oh,
the
and I
minutes.
also like to have the minutes for approval as well.
I'll second that too.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Weinstein?
Yes, to all except I'm going to recuse myself from 25-156 as I was not on the board at the time.
I also actually have to recuse myself from resolution 23, 25-164.
Thank you. I'm going to start over. Councilmember Achara?
Yes again.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes, except 25-164.
Weinstein?
Yes, except for 25-156, I'll recuse myself.
Perfect. And Mayor Nettleton?
Yes, except for 25-145. I will recuse myself from that one. Yes to everything else. Individual action vouchers in the amount of $17,962,082.72. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Weinstein?
Yes.
Nettleton?
Yes. Ordinances up for introduction. Ordinance 2517, which is a bond ordinance providing for various road and drainage improvements, appropriating $4 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,655,362 in bonds and notes to finance a portion thereof and authorized in and by the Township of Ocean. Someone please introduce Ordinance 2517.
I move to introduce ordinance number 2517.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Weinstein?
Yes.
Nettleton?
Yes, that ordinance will have its public hearing on the 11th of September. Ordinance 2518, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing ordinance number 2343, entitled an ordinance amending the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965 relating to personnel policies, practices, and procedures. Someone please introduce ordinance 2518.
I move to introduce ordinance number 2518.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Weinstein?
Yes.
Nettleton?
Yes, that too will have its public hearing on the 11th of September. We will now open it up for public comment on anything germane to the Township of Ocean. You may step up to the microphone. Again, state your name and address for the record.
Hi, Deborah Conley, 1509 Spruce Avenue in the Wanamassa section of Ocean Township. I realize now, after you made it clear that this ordinance is simply being introduced tonight, and the public hearing for that will be in September. And I'm happy to hear that. But separately, and I'm open to any guidance you may have as to maybe shelving my concern until then. I'm not really sure. Living on Spruce Avenue, which is off of Park Boulevard, I am at the dead end. There are 7 streets along Park Boulevard that to the north dead end to the rear of Grassmere Avenue. Now, we've lived in our home since 1996, And it's been a very long road when it comes to stormwater management on our street specifically. Of those 7 dead-end streets, 5 are equipped with 1, if not 2, stormwater drains. Spruce Avenue has none. Birch Avenue has none. The homes, there are a dozen families immediately impacted. The rear of the properties on Grassmere, as well as the properties that dead end to the backside of Grassmere on Spruce Avenue and Birch Avenue. And additionally, there are 5 homes on Spruce Avenue. We are all terribly impacted by stormwater issues. We all have experienced days and days and days and days and days at much more of an expense these days than it used to be, are some pumps incessantly running without any stormwater drains on our street or the next, and we don't even have sewers at the corner at Park Boulevard either. We are left to simply continually cycle that water until such time that the weather permits it to dissipate. We recently had some fence improvements done, and literally when they were trying to put the posts in the ground, you dug 2 to 3 inches and you were at standing water. Recently, I'm going to say within the last 5 to 8 years, 2 homes pretty much abutting this area that I'm speaking of have been approved to install in-ground pools, which takes away from ground that will absorb some of that water. At the corner of Spruce Avenue where I am, and it's only 3 houses deep until you're at Park Boulevard, there is a home on the corner that recently made major renovations and an addition. And in the process of getting approvals for what came out beautifully, they were forced into having to spend an additional more than $15,000, not quite $20,000 to pay for and provide their home with adequate, some sort of a drainage system that they were required to install as part of their approval process. And according to that neighbor, in his words, and I can't speak for someone else, but what we've been told is that that was because of his distance to any nearby stormwater drains. One of the homes in particular that's been impacted within that immediate 12-home area where we all kind of meet up together is currently under construction, adding a 2-story addition to the rear of the home, and additionally removed an oak tree that must have had at least a 3-foot diameter. So again, taking away more ground that's supposed to absorb the rain and taking away a huge tree that of course absorbed a lot. Let's see. So essentially what we experience is a lot of standing water for extensive periods of time. Over the years, I've been in touch with Ocean Township on a number of occasions. There was, I'm going to say about 10 years ago, that in dealing with the township engineer at the time.
Debbie, you have about 30 seconds left.
Okay. Let me then list major concerns. Standing water, mosquitoes, some pumps incessantly running. We have no curbs or sidewalks on Spruce Avenue. Therefore, we cannot neatly have a place where all this water can dispel. Let me make important points. Many of us have had to replace our furnaces that are situated in our crawl spaces because they've been damaged by standing water in our crawl spaces or basements. Let's see. In the 2023 master plan, on pages 9, 60, and 72.
So Debbie, on all of this stuff that you're talking about with Spruce, this we'll have to go over with the engineer to find out what is being proposed for the future for Spruce, whether or not they're going to add the drainage in there. So I'll have to go over that with the engineer. And
yes,
then,
I've been in touch with Mr. Brown and Mr. Blash.
Okay.
And the last feedback that I received was that at the dead end of Spruce, some of these streets have pavement all the way to the end, up to the rear fence of the home on Grassmere. Our street in particular has about 8 to 10 feet of grassy area that we maintain as far as mowing and all of those things. And that, of course, abuts the home.
So Debbie, let me let me have a conversation with the engineer and see if we can get some.
Where he left off was indicating that he was going to send letters to the property owners on Grassmere whose rear yards are impacted by this, where the water will pond. It exists in their yards. They have the whole bottom of their sheds is all rotted from standing water, and it also sits on this side of the fence at the foot of Spruce Avenue and entirely in front of our house. My husband is totally and permanently disabled, and to have to dodge these deep puddles to get in and out of our vehicles is quite the challenge.
Okay,
So with that ordinance,
Yep.
I'm really hopeful that with the financing that will be available, I'm hoping Ocean Township can resolve some of this.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Anyone else wishing to be heard, please step up to the microphone. State your name and address for the record. Anything at this point.
Good evening, everybody. Mark Cornella, 909 Brookside Avenue off of Roselle. I think there's 2 Brooksides in Ocean Township. I'm new in town. 2018 we moved in. Okay, but since I've been here, our street has been patched, I believe 2 or 3 times. We're at the point where it can't be patched anymore.
Right.
I got pictures for the board. If you want me to approach.
Sure. Yeah.
I also have in attendance some wonderful neighbors. We have Billy Bongiorni. What's your new address now, Bill? 900 Roselle. I'm 909. 900 Roselle still, but he's on his. He just remodeled his house. He's on his main house.
So I'm no engineer here. Do you have any other point? It's primarily about Brookside, right?
Brookside Ave.
Okay.
It's 100. It's 120 yards long.
So again, I'm no engineer, but looking at these pictures, yeah, I can probably venture to say it's pretty close to being replaced.
It's crumbling.
The council just added additional money into the road program. We have a 25-year road program that our engineer works on, and we redo the roads every 25 years. With the cost of everything over the last few years, obviously those prices have gone up and we've gotten less. That's why we added more money into the road program. If you contact the township manager, not next week, but the following week, or I'll give you my number, you can call me. I'll find out from the engineer where you are.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so if I can give you my number at the end.
Oh, great. I appreciate it.
Okay.
Is there any way, if we're on schedule, right, any way to move us up? Because we have, it's actually a safety issue now. There's holes in the road.
Well, why don't you, I'll give you my number and I'll get in touch with the engineer for you and I'll find out exactly where you are.
Thank you.
Okay?
Thank you.
You got it. You got it. Sure. Anyone else? Sure. Come on. Step up to the microphone. State your name and address.
Hi, Sherry Rosen, 328 Roosevelt Avenue. I wanted to talk about Roosevelt Avenue. There is so much traffic on it right now. It's for blocks at the light. And I don't know what can be done about it. It's actually at both ends, at both lights, at Norwood and at Monmouth. And I don't know, if you have to put in a left turn signal. I mean, the road's not wide enough to put in a left turn lane, but it's in the summertime. It's awful. It really is bad. I'm a few houses away from my house to pull into my driveway, and I'm waiting 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
It's really bad. So that's one thing. The other thing is that I guess the town has already tried to deal with it already, and they've made Roosevelt Avenue between Norwood and Monmouth that you can only park on one side of the street. And that happened because at one time they were trying to get some emergency vehicles through, and they wound up even having to park in my driveway.
Right.
I think that was a good solution. The problem is that there's so many more summer people coming in to that area around Roosevelt. that there's so much traffic, and it's getting to be very dangerous. Even with one side of the street parking, I am noticing that people driving on the side where the cars are, they're driving on the other side of the road. And I think someone's gonna get hurt. It's real, and they're, like, I'm driving, and they don't even care. Like, people are just like, they just pull into the other lane when there's oncoming traffic. And I think something's gonna happen. You have people walking, you have kids on the motor scooters.
E-bikes.
That's an e-bike?
Scooters, e-bikes.
Oh, it's awful. I mean, and they're like, you try to go around it. I had one kid who was like, he went onto my property after I pulled into my driveway, and he's knocking on the window of my car. It's like, you can't go around me. I'm like, I don't think you should be in the street with that.
Right.
But again, I'm just wondering, can something be done about the street? I've noticed some other streets where there's so many people now. I think it's mostly like summer people. They don't want to park in their driveway. So the streets on both sides are packed. A lot of streets, you can only get one car through. Like today, there were cars on both sides on Cedar. There's only room for one car to go through, and I had to go through very slowly. So I think maybe, I don't know if you can take a look at, what can you do in the summer? Maybe you don't have to do it all year round, but maybe like on some of the streets, it's like no parking during the summer months. Just to make it, because it's not safe. Someone's going to get hurt. So
Thank you.
That's what I wanted to bring.
You're very fortunate. Our head of traffic is in the back taking notes down. So we'll chat tomorrow. Officer Martinez right now, Sergeant Martinez is on her way out, but she's here in case there's a few other things that need to be addressed. So speak to her.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have to get other people up to the microphone.
Oh.
Yeah, one shot. You can talk to me after. Yeah, we can chat after. I'll be here. Okay, yep.
No, she's not. No, she's not.
Oh, did I leave you?
Alex Hayes, Oakhurst, yes, and as a reminder, anybody can come up a second time as long as all other people have given their opinions. So feel free to definitely come up again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe if you have to recuse yourself, maybe it's different in the school board, I don't know. But school board policies are if you recuse yourself, you have to state why. Like you have to give an actual statement as to why you're recusing, as to just abstaining.
What I mentioned was that I was not.
You gave yours, but other people didn't.
Okay.
Thank you for yours. Is that a policy that if you recuse, don't you have
They
to?
can just recuse.
They can just say I recuse and not give a reason. Okay.
I was just keeping in mind your last meeting's comments and anything that has to do with the property located at Hillel Yeshiva. I wanted to recuse myself since I'm on the board of that school.
That's helpful to know. So thank you for that.
And mine's
That's
simple enough. It's my ex-brother-in-law that owns the property. Therefore, I recused myself.
I mean, in full transparency, I think that's helpful to know. And then I did just check. I can pull it up. I took a screenshot of the agendas because I voiced in the other meeting that the agendas are not, the minutes aren't posted. And then you said, no, wait, they're on. I just pulled them up and took screenshots for the second time today. Yes, you approved 6 minutes today from April to July, but there are none before April, and there are.
I'll have to find out why.
So-
That's my deputy. I'll find out why.
So maybe they can be posted as soon as the meeting happens and they are approved. Thank you.
Dennis, you got beat again, Dennis.
Good evening. Thanks for hearing us.
Sure.
Thanks for your job. It's thankless. We appreciate it. I live at 1 Surrey Lane. My name is Harold Cassidy. My wife and I and our family has lived in town for about, 48 years now, almost half a century. We're at 1 Surrey Lane for 41 years. Mainly, I'm coming for 2 reasons. One, we had a referendum on the deer problem a few years back. Has that been resolved? Has there been any determination of what we're going to do about the deer?
Any other questions, Mr. Cassidy?
That's the
That's it.
No, that's not it.
Okay, so we have a 5-minute limit, so we'll get all the questions out, and then we'll be able to answer them.
I'm going to have one other question.
Okay.
But on this one,
Do you want to ask the other question so we don't run out of time?
The other question is, there was damage, water shooting up in front of our home for the last year. It hasn't been repaired. It's not on my property. I can't fix it. I've called the town a number of times. They're not doing anything. But let's put that aside for a minute. Let's talk about the deer for a minute. I'm holding in my hand our garden books. Okay? May I approach and let you see them?
Sure.
You can thumb through. My last year of high school, off to college. On weekends, on Saturdays, when I was in law school, I worked with a landscape contractor. I loved it. I designed landscapes. We've done this. In there are some gardens I have that aren't even depicted. 10 years ago, we didn't have a problem with the deer. It's getting worse and worse every year. I pay people to help get them away. I spray all the time. In my job, I have to travel. I can't spray every day. This year, take a look at that. Not one flower exists. Not one. I went to the town. I asked, what are we doing about this? I said, can I feed them across the street? They said, that's illegal. I said, what are you trying to do about it? Everybody knows this is a problem. You had a ballot because you knew it was a problem. And I was told that you're trying to get permission to have a deer hunt with bows and arrows, but you don't have such permission. Then I was told the answer for me is I have a stone wall around the property at 1 Surrey Lane. Put the wall up 7 feet so they can't jump over it. But I can't do that because the ordinances don't permit it. So I'm going to ask the town, if you're not going to do anything about it, will the committee support my application for a variance so I can keep these animals out of our property? Let us enjoy our property. We take pride in our property. Our neighbors take pride in their property. Why can't we live in peace? The other thing, it's your property. The water was shooting up in front of my driveway. It was about that high. No one did anything about it. They had worked on the water in front of us on Surrey Lane. They'd worked on the gas lines. Then finally, along they came, they started to pave. And the guy who was paving said he'll take care of the water problem. He paved over it. Now it's shooting up right at the curb on your property, not mine. And in the last 2 weeks, there's now gas evidence. There's evidence there's gas in that water. I went down to the town hall and asked if anybody can help. They said, call the gas. You call the gas to take care of what's on the town's property. Okay? And I can't get any response. That's all.
Mr. Cassidy, is that the property you're talking about? Is it next to your property, 1 Surrey Lane? The piece that you're talking about,
You mean-
the water coming out and the gas?
It was right in front of my driveway.
Right in front of your
the
driveway?
street on your property.
Okay.
And then after it was paved over, it shot up right on the curb on your, it's not on my property. I can't do anything with it.
Okay.
I'd pay whatever it took to fix it, but I can't.
We'll reach out to the Director of Public Works on that one to have a look, and then probably have the engineer take a look as well.
You can tell them that they should look right at the mailbox, right near the mailbox, they're gonna see it.
Okay. Got that?
Okay? I'll take
And
it.
then the piece about the deer. Obviously, it's a systemic problem throughout the entire state, probably the country. Councilman Nasser and I both had a meeting with Fish, Game, and Wildlife about 2 months ago. It's our recommendation that we meet with the surrounding towns in order to come up with a viable plan that everybody's on the same page with. The reason why Ocean Township hasn't made a move yet is because everybody around won't make a move. They were waiting for us to make a move. Now, we want to have a meeting with the surrounding towns and Fish, Game, and Wildlife and go over the options that the municipalities that surround Ocean Township have, along with us, including the county that has a rather large park in Ocean Township, Wells Park.
I would contribute to the cost of moving them down to the pine lands where no one lives. Okay? I would pay for, instead of them feeding at my house, in the woods, I'd get the food and put them in there. My wife would be delighted to help me. Whatever help you need,
Yep.
I will give you.
again, once we have this meeting, this follow-up meeting, maybe we'll get some answers. But the Fish, Game, and Wildlife is very difficult to get a plan through with them.
And we can't do anything without their permission?
If you want to do a
Sterilization.
non-lethal and lethal means, yeah, it's very difficult.
You mean, other than killing them, we can't do anything?
Pretty much.
Well,
Well,
just to be clear, and keep me honest, Mayor.
yeah.
We need their permission to do any lethal program and any non-lethal program. While I appreciate your willingness to contribute, I don't think the town has enough money to subsidize a non-lethal program.
A non-legal?
Lethal.
Lethal.
So, trust, I mean, I don't want,
I'm not advocating a lethal program. You understand that?
no, I don't. You just told me that. You didn't say
I'm
that
not.
before. But regardless, we're looking at we're looking at all the options.
Well, if I apply for a variance to build higher walls, okay, I'm hoping the town won't oppose it. I'll take the books back.
Thank you, Mr. Casti.
Pardon me?
Thank you, Mr. Casti.
Thank you. I appreciate the job you do.
There you go.
I wouldn't want
All you, Dennis.
Did you do all that work? Some nice work in that book. Come to my house.
Dennis Howlett, 1638 Holbrook Street. Is this on now?
It sort of sounds like it. See
Okay.
the green light's on.
Where's the green light?
Where the light button is.
Sounds like you're on.
I'm
Facing us?
I tap it.
Rob needs his snips.
Yeah. I ran this morning, actually. Yeah, it's on. See that green light?
Okay.
That's good.
Okay, great. This is one of the things I'm going to bring up. Shall I start?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay. My first two comments are 5 minutes is too short. And secondly, that the recording sound is too soft. I've read a number of people that look at the town hall meeting say you can't hear anything. And okay. Plastic film pickup program that I mentioned last meeting that they didn't pick up in my house. This month, everything went through fine. I'm glad to see the program is still alive. And I'd like to know how the future of that program is looking, because I know it was under a trial exercise to see whether it's going to go forward. That's the first thing. Kudos to Dr. Fisher for all his work on e-bikes. I appreciate that. And I wonder if there is an update on the status of the signs in Poplar Brook, because I still see an awful lot of e-bikes in Poplar Park. And I wonder if there's the e-bike signs that we're going to mention last time are unscheduled to be put up. I have a question about some of the projects in Playa Park. One, I guess the question is, are there any birds in the birdhouses that they put up all over Playa Park? And are there any bats in the bat houses they put up in Playa Park? I've never seen any birds going into those houses or any bats going into the bat houses. The status of the abandoned swallow houses in the northeast quadrant of Playa Park. It's completely fallen apart and has been sitting there, just looks pretty bad. I'd be happy to help take them out if they don't want to repair them. But I'd like to know, if I were going to do that, I would have to be assured that they're just not going to mow all that land as well as all the land they do around it, because right now it's a nice untended property where birds and insects and everything can live freely. A couple kudos for the Park Commission for the cleanups done after the Ocean Township United Soccer Association tournament and the 4th of July festivities, and so far for the Italian Fair. They've done a great job on the cleanup, because I go there every day and I see that sort of stuff. I have a question about the status of the new town hall. This would be in addition to what you talked about. If the status falls through on Route 35, if that's not used, is there any chance that the meadow will come back and play as a site for the new town hall? And what's the rationale behind leaving the meadow in fallow state, which I happen to like. Is there another reason for not mowing that meadow? You talked about the ponds, the dredging around town. I didn't hear what you said, whether Snell Pond was included in that list. And I was wondering if there's a status on the dredging of Snell Pond. And I'm curious as to whether the town has an arborist on staff or on call.
Okay, so let's start off with the sound system. Obviously, we'll talk to Steve Arian, who's our tech person in regard to the sound, as well as Tommy. You know, they both work the sound, so we'll figure out what's going on there. You're saying that it's too low, you can't hear?
Well, particularly you can't hear, you can hear you guys usually.
Right.
But very often when somebody like me is speaking, you cannot hear what the question is. And
Okay.
a number of people have come to me and said, we know you were
Rob,
there,
you're
but
a
we couldn't
techie.
hear what you're saying.
So, thank you, Mayor. So, yes, I am a techie. I did complain about it probably 10 years ago, and have been since. And because people like you have continued to tell us that the volume stinks when you're watching it on channel 77 or on YouTube. We did put a proposal in front of the CFO and town manager probably 2 years ago, and it didn't get through. So, yes, we're aware that it needs to be improved.
As for the plastic being picked up, we have no reason to think it's going to stop. So right now that will continue.
That's a great program.
Haven't heard anything other than that. The meadow being mowed, I had gotten a call about it. I contacted our Director of Public Works. He advised me that the only reason why they had mowed it last time was because they had a Black Hawk land there. So I'll find out from him again if they can get in there and get it mowed down. But that's why.
No, the reason it's been brought up to me is, are they leaving the meadow unmowed to make it look bad
No,
for people?
I asked him that. No.
Okay.
Believe me,
it
we
looks
got
great.
that accusation. That's 100% false.
Good.
As for Snell's Pond, we were advised by our attorney right now that that's private, so we have to look in alternative means of getting it cleaned up. It's private. We have a couple of pieces of property on there. It would have to almost be an assessment district.
Okay, the couple of pieces of property you're talking about are the Blue Acres?
The Blue Acres
The 7
ones that we
lots
own.
that are there?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, this has come up a number of times in the past, and there had been a plan for doing the Snell Pond.
Right, but our attorney advised us that it's a private pond, then we would be opening up a can of worms. We've got private ponds all throughout the town.
Oh,
Take
I see.
Cedar Village, for example. They have a private pond. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
And is there an arborist on staff?
Oh, no, we don't have an arborist, but we have a, what do you want to call it, Bill Brooks? Tree expert.
That's a certified tree expert?
Yeah.
He's certified.
Okay. And who is that, may I ask?
His name is Bill Brooks.
Bill Brooks?
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Dennis. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Yes, sir.
Jake DeLuca, I'm coming from behalf of the Prevention Coalition of Monmouth County. I just want
You may want to raise that.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I can
well-
just lean down. I just want to express our organization's gratitude towards your proclamation tonight.
Oh, I
and
would
your
have had you
commitment.
come up.
Oh, it's okay. But yeah, just thank you for all the work
We'll
that
give
y'all
you
are
the
doing.
proclamation, and we'll take a pic at the end.
Thank
Sound
you.
good?
Yeah, appreciate
Okay,
y'all.
very good. Thank you for what you do. Anyone else wishing to be heard, step up to the microphone, state your name and address. We'll talk after. What's that? Yeah. You mean over in Lollipop Pond? That's considered Lollipop Pond. There's also a bridge over there that needs to be replaced. We received $500,000 from the legislature that will replace the bridge and do the dredging. That's not this year, next year. Yes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I just realized that Dr. Fisher didn't get a chance to answer my question about the other e-bike signs that are supposed to go up.
I'm gonna have to go to the town manager and find out what the status is.
Okay.
I don't have the answer for that.
I can tell you they were ordered.
Okay.
That's all I know.
Okay.
After the day after
As soon
we
as they
talk.
take care of the deer population, they'll go
There
up,
you go.
right? Okay, good.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?